All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Justin Block. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an investor. Recently was part of my family's business, which we just exited for the second time. I'm making videos now about business, personal development, and I buy and invest in companies. And I wanted to make this a quick video today because this is something that I don't know why I've seen it recently. Again, it's the new year. I think people are sort of all over the place with their decision making. And was just talking to some friends of mine who were feeling burned out. And they were asking me, Justin, have you ever dealt with burnout? Like, what is burnout for you? And I was telling them times in my life where I did feel burned out. I think burning out has a different definition for many people. For me, it's usually when you can't see the end, the end in mind, when you can't see the finish line. And most people think it's about just doing a bunch of work and, feeling like, I'm working too much. And I think that's true to an extent. But to tie this in with decision making is, a lot of the guys that I was talking to, they were like, dude, I'm doing this, and this. And I'm just like, well, why haven't you closed the loop on this stuff? And they're just like, I don't know how. I'm doing this stuff and I don't know how. Or I've been doing this, but not been working. I'm like, well, have you actually committed to doing this and finishing it? And they said, yeah. And I'm like, well, show me with your calendar, show me with your time. And I look at their calendar and their time and their bank account. It's fucking all over the place. And I'm just like, dude, you are spread too thin. You haven't closed these loops. You're not making the decision as well as you think you are. And so again, most people think burnout comes from working too much. I think it more really comes from the unmade decisions that lead you to working too much because you're not closing the loops on the unread emails. You're not closing the loops on the meetings that you probably should have canceled. You're not closing the loop on all the projects that you should have fucking killed. And that just creates this thing that's like, it's like a decision debt. It just, these little things that add up all the time and they accumulate into this giant debt, and then it just becomes this giant ball of mental noise that you can never escape from. And you have all these things and it just never goes away until you pay that debt down with your decision making. And that's why you feel tired without doing anything hard, because you're just like scattered all over the place and you haven't figured out how, or not how, excuse me. You haven't committed in your mind that you're going to do it. Because again, it's the new year, sort of. Most people are interested in their goals, but they're not committed to their goals. That's why they're not doing them. They're only interested, so they'll half do it, and it just stays there or it just drops off. And then they wonder why they don't accomplish anything or they feel burned out or whatever. It's because you haven't committed to anything. You haven't done anything yet. And if you feel like you're overworking, you probably have a bunch of unclosed loops in your brain on your calendar that you need to kill off. You probably need to go hire someone to help you with this stuff maybe. Maybe it's an assistant. Oh, Justin, I don't know how to hire an assistant. You can't even decide to commit to hiring an assistant. That's what I'm getting at here. And so there's 3 levels to decision making. I think I learned this from Tony Robbins. I'm pretty sure I did. But level 1 is just deciding. And so that's where you decide, do I actually want to do this or not, right? It's just the awareness of, is this something I want to do right now? And if you're like, yes, then cool. If no, then don't fucking do it, obviously. And so if a decision's been sitting in your head for more than a day or two, you're not deciding, you're just avoiding it. So deciding is just, is this a yes or no? All right, if it's a yes, now we lead to level 2, which is committing. And committing pretty much means, all right, I'm doing this for the long term, no matter what, right? Like I'm in this thing to win it. I'm not changing my mind. You can do this by putting it in your calendar. You can do this by putting some money behind it. You can do this by, telling someone about it. You can do this by creating a deadline. If no one really knows about it, it's not really a commitment, even if it's just something that you say to yourself. And I think that's level 2. Level 2 commitment is great. That's like you're still doing the thing, but you still haven't done the whole thing yet, which is level 3, which is resolving. And this is where most people fail, honestly, because resolving means it's already done here. It just hasn't happened in the real yet. Like it's already done here. Like you're just like, okay, I got to go execute this thing now. And that means there's no other alternatives. I want this thing. I need to do this thing. I'm going to make it happen. And resolve is tough for people because when you don't know how to do something, most people go to, okay, how do I do this? Right? Like if I have never hired an executive assistant, like I mentioned before, if I have never hired a supply chain person, if I have never run a marathon before, it's like, how do I do this, right? And to an extent, the how matters. But the first thing is getting just fucking 100% certain, like, hey, I'm going to do this thing and I will figure it out as I go. Sure, I'm a big believer in you can read books and you can listen to podcasts and videos and you should call a mentor, try to find someone who can help you. That's great. But you still need to decide in your mind, this is done. It's already done. I'm going to figure it out as I go. But most people can't do that because they're so stuck in this how. How do I do this? How do I do that? It's like, dude, if you got committed and resolved about it, the how would take care of itself. You would just go find the how. It could be messy. It's probably going to be messy. It's always messy at the beginning. But over time, with whatever goal or commitment or decision you want to make, once you resolve it in your mind, it might take you a day. It might take you a week. It might take you 10 months. It might take you 2 years. But you will eventually figure it out. If you want it bad enough, I believe genuinely, given that nothing crazy happens and with circumstance and whatnot, right? You will figure out a way. Like, people always ask me all the time, like, Justin, how do you network? How do you sell stuff? I'm just like, I just decided I wanted to do it, and I just did it, and I figured it out as I went. I get that question so much, and I'm so tired of hearing it. It's just like, I want it, and so I'm going to figure it out. I've already resolved it in my mind. This is the result I want. I'm going to figure it out. Does that not make sense to you? And they're like, no, I need to, like, learn how to craft the perfect email, or learn how to make, I don't know what I'm doing with these YouTube videos. I'm just recording it, and I'm doing it now. I've resolved this in my mind. Hey, I want to grow a YouTube channel. And so I'm making topics about it. Sure, could I be doing it a little bit of a better way? Probably, but I'm figuring it out as I go. And that will happen with time, over time. Again, it's not like it's tomorrow all your goals and dreams come true. That would be super boring. If I just wished it in my head and resolved it in my head and it immediately came true, your life would be super boring. There'd be no challenge to overcome. There'd be no growth. So you have to resolve it in your mind, but then you got to do the thing. And the how is just so dumb. I'm like sick of explaining how do I do this, and there's some how to stuff, right? Like, hows matter, but it's such a small percentage. It's 20% of the thing. The 80% of the thing is saying, I'm going for this fucking thing. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to close these loops. If it does not get me towards my goals, gone. I'm killing that meeting, gone. I don't need to be in that email, gone. I need to fire this person, need to hire this person, gone. You're in. It's not like a time management thing. It's just fewer things, less, there's no more burnout. And the same thing with deciding, like I said earlier at the beginning, deciding to see the end in mind. Have you resolved that for yourself? Have you taken the time to sit down and say, what do I actually want? Have you decided that for yourself? Have you committed to that? Have you resolved that in your head? Probably not. That's why you feel burned out, because you've never even committed to that. You've never even resolved it in your mind. You don't know what you want. That's still a decision. And not making a decision is still making a decision. My dad literally said this to me last night about something we were talking about, and I was like, yep. So, again, I'm trying to make this video short, just about decision making. You don't need to do everything at once. Burnout is not caused by doing too much work. It's caused by too many unmet decisions. Again, you haven't decided what the end is. You haven't decided to kill the meeting. You haven't decided to jump into the meeting. You haven't decided to hire the EA. Then you haven't committed to it, and you haven't resolved it in your mind. Resolve is where you want to get at, because once you resolve it in your mind, honestly, it brings you a little bit of peace and joy. You're like, I know what I want now. I know what I have to do to go get it. You don't have to think about it anymore. You just go do the thing. I need to make these 5 emails today. I got to call this person. I got to hop on this call. I got to open the camera and press record. Once you know what you need to do, you just got to do it. There's no overthinking about this stuff anymore. It's like one of my buddies was talking to me about the other day too. He was like, I'm going to break up with my girlfriend. And I was like, okay, what do you mean? He's like, I'm going to break up with her. I said, when? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, you haven't resolved it in your mind yet. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, if you actually resolve this, you would say, I'm going to do it by next week. And he was like, you're right. And so it was already done in his mind. He just had to do it by next week. And basically too, I was telling him, I was like, dude, if you don't do it by next week, if this is what you actually want, like you gotta like write a check to like a charity that you don't care about or something crazy, right? Or run a marathon. I don't know, do something hard. And he's like, I don't want to do that. So I'm like, dude, then go do it's resolved in your mind. Just go do it now. Maybe save yourself a week, right? But so many of us, we don't commit. We don't even decide. We don't commit. We don't resolve. And so we're left with all these open loops, and we feel like, I'm all over the place. I'm burnt out, blah, 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 blah. You just haven't committed anything. It's the paradox of this, paradox of choice type of thing. We have all these choices, so we don't make a choice. But then once we commit, we actually have more freedom. Like Jocko says it all the time, discipline is freedom. I don't know if I'd frame it like that, but he's right to an extent. Like, you commit to this thing, you actually have a lot more freedom. You're not burned out. So, again, quick video here, just about decision making. If you're feeling burnt out, take everything you're doing, audit your calendar, audit all of your goals or whatever you're doing, get clear on that, decide if it's actually right for you, commit to it, and then the next level, resolve the damn thing, and do a few things there, and then go all in, and then look up in a few months and a year, and you'll be like, wow, I'm glad I actually resolved this in my mind and I committed. My life is way better. And you can say, "You're welcome, Justin." I'll say, "Cool. I'm glad we did this." And so, yeah, I think I want to make another business video next time, because I've been talking to some cool entrepreneurs lately, and I want to bring some of my learnings into this channel there. But yeah, make the decision, commit to the decision, resolve the decision in your mind, and then execute. That's all you got to do. You won't feel burnt out. If you guys got anything from this video, stick around, maybe share it. Check out the podcast, Born to Be Great. We're doing a lot of cool stuff there. Please check that out. Got a lot of awesome guests coming on in the next few months. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.